welcome to another amazing video on this sports channel. And so today we're going to be doing the official recap of Week 11 of the NFL season. But first we've got to start off with the fun fact of the day. And the fun fact of the day today is the most watched television event in the United States is the Super Bowl. I feel like that is, really true. Because I feel like it's the most exciting, one game, winner takes all. And, football is more of an American sport, not really internationally. And so, I feel like it is the most in U.S. And so, yeah, that's a cool fact. It's not the finals. It's not the World Series. It is the Super Bowl. And so now let's get it started off with the video. And starting off with the Thursday game with the Seahawks versus the Cardinals. Everybody knows that the Cardinals took the first game between these two teams. But the Seahawks took the W, winning 28-21 this time with Kyler Murray passing for 269 yards and suffering kind of a shoulder injury. He's still practicing, but they're still examining it and seeing how it will work for the next game. And then Carlos Hyde rushed for 79 yards for the Seahawks in their win. And now we have the Browns versus the Eagles. Pretty much two of the worst quarterback starters in the NFL right now faced off, and the final score ended up being 22-17 for the Browns winning, with Carson Wentz throwing for 235 yards and Nick Chubb rushing for 114 yards. And I predicted the Browns to win because quarterbacks are pretty much the same, like not great. And so now you have to look at the run game. Because, quarterback, they give the receivers the ball. And, the quarterback, they're the main guy in the field. And when you look at the rushing game, the Eagles' rushing game does not compare to Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. That's literally just full force coming at you. And I feel like that's how the Browns won. Because defenses really stacked up the same, too. So it was, Myles Garrett wasn't even on the field. And so you have to put that in perspective to see maybe the Eagles wouldn't have scored that many points if Myles Garrett was in the game. But the Browns still did get the W. And now we have the Drew Breesless Saints going in, we're playing the Falcons, and they won 24-9 with the Swiss Army knife of a quarterback, Taysom Hill. And Taysom Hill passed for 233 yards with Michael Thomas going for 104 yards receiving for the Saints. And Taysom Hill did great. I just got to say, passed the ball, ran the ball great. And so great job by Taysom Hill. And now we have the Washington football team versus the Bengals. And the Washington football team did get the W, winning 20-9. With Joe Burrow throwing for 203 yards, with Antonio Gibson rushing for 94 yards. And Joe Burrow did tear his ACL and MCL. So get well soon, Joe. You're playing great, and he's going to be out for the rest of the season. But he did say, I'll see y'all next year. And so I feel like he's going to come back strong next year. After he gets back from this injury. Now we have the Panthers versus the Lions. And the Panthers shut him out, winning 20-0 with the XFL star P.J. Walker passing for 258 yards. And did great in Teddy Bridgewater with him being a little injured, little injured. And DJ Moore went for 127 yards receiving. So the PJ to DJ connection is really working this game for the Panthers. And so now we have the Steelers versus the Jaguars, and the Steelers defense pretty much just shut them down, winning 27-3. The Steelers defense, I would say, is the best in the league, with Big Ben throwing for 267 yards, and Deontay Johnson going for 111 yards receiving. And now we have the Titans versus the Ravens. The Titans did win 30-24. Ryan Tannehill passed for 259 yards. Aggie, you already know, 259 yards passing, and did get the W. So I mean, you already know what it is. And then we have Derrick Henry rushing for 133 yards, and King Henry had a game-winning TD in overtime. It was a pretty long run. He just said, no, y'all are not gonna get me today. I'm scoring this touchdown. Scored the touchdown. Won in overtime against this Ravens team. And now we have the Patriots versus the Texans, and this was a crazy game because the Texans did win 27-20. The Patriots, they started feeling themselves. They were like, let's go. They started winning some games after their losing skid. But then they kind of won some games, and they're like, we're good. We're a good team. And then now they head into Houston and lose the game by 7 with Cam Newton throwing for 365 yards. So it's not like he didn't pass bad, but, he just didn't get the W for his team. But Damiere Byrd went off for the Patriots, going for 132 yards receiving and getting, I think, 1 or 2 touchdowns. I could be wrong. I just remember from watching that game. And then Rex Burkhead did something in his knee. He hasn't really said anything yet. The Patriots really haven't said anything yet. But he did indicate that his season is over. And he's one of my favorite running backs in the league. He's really not even a starter for the Patriots. But I don't know what it is about him. I just love how he runs the ball. He can catch the ball out of backfield. Great running back for a quarterback. And so I feel like the Patriots will really hurt with him being out. And so get well soon, Rex. You're a great running back. You'll come back next year probably and do great. And then now we have the Dolphins versus the Broncos. And the Dolphins did lose by 7, losing 20-13. They did take out Tua and put in Ryan Fitzpatrick, but there was no Fitzmagic used in this game. Drew Lock passing for 270 yards, and the breakout tight end for the Broncos, Tim Patrick, had 119 yards receiving. And now we have the Chargers versus the Jets, and this was a close game, as the Jets are tanking for Trevor. You can kind of tell through their games that they are kind of tanking right now. But this was a really close game with the Chargers. With the Chargers only winning 34-28. Justin Herbert, he's just doing great this season for the Chargers, and he already looks like a veteran quarterback out there. Just reading the defense. And Justin Herbert, he did throw for 366 yards with Keenan Allen going for 145 yards receiving. And now we have the Packers versus the Colts. The Colts pulled out a shocker, winning 34-31 with Aaron Rodgers passing for 311 yards with Devontae Adams going for 106 yards receiving. And the Colts winning in overtime, which was crazy. It was a crazy overtime. I was watching it after the Cowboys game because they both played at 3:25. This one ended later because, it was overtime. And by the way, just sit here for a second. Just say, I'm wearing the Cowboys shirt 2 weeks in a row because you already know what we got. We got that dub right there. We got that dub. We ate that dub, and we're going to get to that game soon. But yeah, it was a crazy game with the Colts winning in overtime. And so now we got my favorite game right now. We got the Cowboys versus the Vikings, with the Cowboys winning 31-28, with Kirk Cousins throwing for 314 yards and Adam Thielen going for 123 yards receiving with a crazy one-handed catch in the corner of the end zone. But those Cowboys, they got the W by 3. Great win for the boys. Andy Dalton played good. CeeDee Lamb had a crazy catch in the end zone. And we just all played good. We're 3-7, but we might win the NFC East, go into the playoffs. We may be able to win the NFC East with a 6-10 record. That's crazy to me. But they're not the best team this year, but they're in consideration to make the playoffs. So, just keep on cheering them on. And now we have the Chiefs versus the Raiders, and the Chiefs did win after the Raiders got the first game, winning 35-31, with Patrick Mahomes passing for 348 yards, Travis Kelce having 127 yards receiving. And so I feel like the Chiefs just gave them payback, because the Raiders, they apparently took a victory lap around Arrowhead Stadium after their win. And so, I mean, the Chiefs got payback, and they won good, by a great game by their star players. And now we have the Rams versus the Buccaneers, with the Rams winning by 3 points versus 27-24, with Jared Goff throwing for 376 yards and Cooper Kupp going for 145 yards receiving. This Buccaneers team, sometimes they're a great team, but like last week versus the Panthers and a couple other weeks this season. But then sometimes they're just not good, including this Rams game, including the Saints game. But, I mean, they're good, but then they're bad. They're good, then they're bad. And we had Tom Brady throwing 2 picks. And his deep balls were not good last night. And I feel like the Buccaneers, they can definitely get better from this Rams loss. But, I just don't know about this team, because I saw a lot of these shows saying who would make the Super Bowl, Rams or the Buccaneers, if you could pick one. And I would pick the Rams. They just looked like the better team. This Buccaneers offense has to get sharper, because, the Rams offense is doing pre-snap motions, and the Buccaneers are just doing this plain offense. And so I feel like they could just get everything better, And so, yeah, that was all the games. That was the Sunday night game, and it was a thriller with the Rams winning. And so now we have the shout-out, and the shout-out goes to Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for my family and sports, and so, yeah, I mean, happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully the Cowboys can get that W versus the Washington football team on Thanksgiving. And, yeah, so thank y'all for watching. Make sure y'all subscribe, like the video, and share this with your friends, and turn on your notification bell. See ya. Bye.